Where has your family been most supportive in your career development?
Well, it's nice you asked that. I don't give enough credit to my parents and to my brother as influences in my life. My father is an amazing, sort of guide. It's sort of setting a standard that it's kind of impossible in a way. How dedicated he is to his work, his lifestyle. He's a physician, so I grew up sort of seeing him always on call, always taking care of people, always out, waking up at very early hours on weekends, weekdays, in and out, driving across the state to practice. So I would say his presence and his noted absence, through his dedication, and I would say the hours that he was always available to his patients. I realized that as much as people like to separate work and life, there are times when I'd say work is part of a lifestyle for a time, and that puts a lot of strain on, we'll say, your partner. So my mother was able to take up a lot of the slack, and she was in charge of rearing my brother and I, making us the interesting people that we are. So I was very lucky that my mother is a very bright and very curious person, and was always seeking out things for my brother and I to do. So from a really early age, we were always in very interesting programs, whether it's Odyssey the Mine and summer programs. I remember going to programs at the University of Central Arkansas, where we were exposed to psychology research. A professor actually let me take home a Skinner box, and I had a mother who was actually okay and interested in having rats to do research. And I was probably, maybe 11, 12, I'm not sure how old I was, but I wanted to be able to sort of do research in psychology, and the professor enabled this. My mother, is the kind of person that says yes, and, as opposed to, why are we bringing rodents into the downstairs? So it's things like that, or she would find programs like the Duke TIP program, where I got to spend a month in Costa Rica doing research on bats and ecology. I was exposed to almost an absurd level of novel experiences, novel ideas, novel people, and that really, I think, fundamentally changed my outlook on what you should do with your life and what a career could be and should be. So because she satisfied, I think, that need for curiosity, I'd say my career itself has been an extension of that in no small part. Now, when I was in junior high, she took me down to Fort Worth, where we went to the Johnson O'Connor Center and had personality testing done, because everyone in my family is in medicine. And she had thought that maybe I wasn't necessarily good on that path, not because I didn't have the smarts, who knows, but that personality-wise, maybe it wouldn't have been a fit. So that she had the wherewithal and the passion and the concern about my career to take me down, to take eventually my brother as well, and go have this testing done, where we learned things about ourselves that you just don't have that perspective. A guidance counselor can't give you that.
Right.
And there's a lot of useful information that came out of it. And one of the things that came out of it was this idea that I scored very high for, idea foria, which essentially they kind of set me down and said, because of this and a couple other things, that I couldn't work in a factory line. I would be bored, and I couldn't work in an area that was overly specialized. And a lot of medicine is very specialized. Now there's a lot of medicine that's not. Research, ER, it kind of gave me pause. And I realized at that point that maybe I didn't want to be pre-med and go to college. Mm-hmm. And so it was that intervention that probably did more to change my life and my career than anything has, as far as major points in which I could have gone left or right. Mm. And then I'd say as an adult, because I have a younger brother who is also in business, a professional, we have a relationship that allows us to explore both of our experiences together. I'm a little bit, because I'm older than him, I've gone through things a little sooner. It doesn't mean that he doesn't teach me. He teaches me a lot.
Right.
But I think it's been awesome to have someone who is kind of my best friend and partner, and we provide a kind of a sounding board for each other all the time about ideas we've had and problems we've seen. So my family has always been an extension, I'd say, of my career all along the way.